I am Agatha McMahon, the founder of Agatha Legal Law Firm. It's a successful law firm where we provide legal services to all businesses. Personally, social media has impacted my business greatly. We started social media 2019, where I met the moderator, Madam Busoya Adekoye. And since then, we've recorded tremendous growth and success. I made my first 7 million from the house, just from the sitting room. And social media plays a great role. So I'm here to reiterate what the previous speakers, the brilliant, amazing speakers that we've had today, I'm here to reiterate what they said, which is to grow a formidable business brand. Access to funds is not your number one priority. The number one thing you should be looking at is a viable business idea. What is it that you're selling? Your unique selling proposition. Do you have a bankable business plan? These are the things that will make you grow in social media and the right way. Growth comes when you're doing the right thing and at the right time. When you avoid costly mistakes, you grow. But when you keep making mistakes, you don't grow. So when I'm going to be talking from the legal aspect, because I'm a legal practitioner, and I will help you avoid costly mistakes, which is number one, business structure. Understanding legal structure in business is very important. In Nigeria, the Nigerian law, which guides the way we do business, is the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020. It used to be 1990, later became 2004. Now, the 2004 law has been revoked, and a new law has taken effect for the purpose of ease of doing business. I understand again that most of us are entrepreneurs here, not because we want to, but because of circumstances. I am an entrepreneurial lawyer. I started entrepreneurship, I'm in the business of law, not because I actually wanted to be a founder of Agatha Legal, but because of circumstance. But then I do not believe in dwelling in the negativity. We know that the government has not provided employment to youth. That is why we have to be creative to start our own business. And this is the reason why I love to seize opportunity to come to where young entrepreneurs are, to share knowledge, to help them do their business right. We have the registered companies, which involves limited liability company, private company limited by shares, public company. But for the purpose of our gathering, we are all startups. We'll be concentrating on 2 parts: sole proprietorship partnership under business name and limited liability company. Now, sole proprietorship is simply the name and style of doing business. All of us here will have a business account on Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn, and you have a business name. The law provides that within 28 days of carrying on business, you should ensure that that business is registered by the Corporate Affairs Commission. Now, the Corporate Affairs Commission is the federal government agency that is in charge of regulating business activity, but it doesn't stop there. Why should you register your business with the Corporate Affairs Commission when the government that failed to provide employment has not done what they're supposed to do? The little money that I'm trying to use to gather my business, you're telling me to go and register it with the Corporate Affairs Commission so that they will start taxing me. I want you to focus on the benefits and the protection and the reason why the law has provided that you should register your business with the Corporate Affairs Commission. One, it gives you protection of your business name. Where the market is big, we have millions of people there watching what you're doing, and you want that name to be exclusively for you. You don't want to build a brand and someone else steals your brand name. Two, with the registration of that name, you'll be able to open a corporate account with the bank. Without the CSC document certificates, you won't be able to open a bank account. Why should you open a business bank account? Because that's what investors are interested in. They want you to separate your personal money from your business money. If you're a young entrepreneur here and you're running your business with your personal account, you're doing a wrong thing and you're not positioning your brand for global relevance. Now, you have to open your corporate account with the bank. That is what it does for you. It makes you attractive to investors. And it helps you to have that business security. That's for sole proprietorship. Now, another aspect is limited liability. I want you to understand the difference between sole proprietorship and limited liability company. Limited liability company is a legal entity. It gives you personal liability protection. It helps you to do your business separate from you as a person. The law has provided that there are certain businesses that you're doing that you should be under a particular structure. Now, if you do not have a legal counsel, you'll be making a gross mistake from the beginning, which is what we want you to avoid. For instance, if you're into logistics businesses are prone to accidents because the bikers are all over the place. Anything can happen. The products or services you're trying to convey to another person might get damaged in the course of the transaction. And you're just a young startup, you don't know what to do. Do you know that that customer can come if you don't have money to pay for the worth of that good? The customer can come for your personal assets and liability. And if you have started as a sole proprietor under a business name, you don't have any legal protection. They can take your house, they can take your property, they can take anything you have, and the law will uphold that judgment. Now, for logistics business to be successful and avoid that costly mistakes, it should be incorporated as a limited liability company. Because what limited liability company does for you, it gives you that personal liability protection. It separates you from your business. In the case of any accident, you're not personally liable. The business will take control of it. And if there is a dispute in the court, they will not be calling your name, calling your surname. They can't come for your personal belongings. What they'll be saying is, okay, which business should we use as a company? We should do? Okay, they will be saying Dangote Limited. Dangote Limited. However, the person that committed that offense, maybe his name is Mr. Aliko, they won't call him. And what is Dangote Limited? Is broad. There are so many shareholders, there are so many directors, so you can't go and claim one of the director's personal assets. That is one of the advantages. Secondly, it gives you perpetual continuity. What do I mean by perpetual continuity? For sole proprietorship, please note that the death of the owner of the business is the death of the business. There is no transfer of ownership. So if you're a sole proprietor here and you've registered your business under a business name, that means you're not looking at the future. You don't want to build a legacy. The death of the owner of a sole proprietorship business is the death of the business. There is no transfer of ownership. Now, so many partners have made a lot of mistakes. Sorry, I have a lot about. Please, Okay, I'll round off soon. So many partners have made a lot of mistakes because they've registered under business name as two partners without looking at partnership agreement. So the death of one person is the death of whatever the person owes or anything, investment and all that in that business. Now, limited liability company gives you legal perpetual continuity. The death of one person is not the death of the business. Even if you're a sole director, the good thing is that the CAMA 2020 provides now that one person can be a company. So only me now can be a limited liability company. But God forbid, in the event that anything happens to me, that is not the death of my business. The perpetual continuity continues from the shareholders and all. So the brief summary of how social media has impacted me and my business is because I understand the legal structure of business, the benefit of starting right, and doing your business right.
Thank you very much. So, that was a whole session on its own, and she has been able to answer every single thing that, every single concerns that I would have thrown at her as a lawyer operating in the social media space. And what I'm going to do now is I will ask him an encompassing question, after which we're going to take Mr. Bayo because he's got a tight schedule and he's got to go. So if you have questions for the panelists, write them down. Write them down. We'll pass the questions to them and get the answers for you much, momentarily, which will be after now. Okay. So my question for Mr. Femi Koka is this. Okay, so my question for Mr. Femi Koka is this, right? You're an influencer in that space. You've done a lot of campaigns as an influencer marketer, so to say, as an influencer and somebody marketing in that space. So, what growth strategies would you recommend for personal brand or businesses? Because this is the time that we're telling a lot of people to leverage, by leveraging on social media as a tool. So, and like that, the next time I come back to you guys, I'm just going to be asking for your parting words in 1 second. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on this. So I won't speak too long, but basically growth strategies. Growth strategies are different industries based on what you're trying to get across to your audience. But basically for small brands, it is more advisable for you to treat your brand like there's a personality behind it. And you could also use such a strategy to be able to engage with your audience, because most brands where you can't really feel, especially personal brands, where you can't really feel a personality behind it, you would hardly engage your audience. And from an angle of influence also, you could also leverage on other people's audiences, which is you leveraging on their influence. And it doesn't have to always be very big people. You could start with your friends, them reposting your content, them engaging your content, because many social platforms reward you depending on how engaging your content is. Most people, when they put up, like for SMEs, when they have products to sell, they most times just stick to platforms like maybe WhatsApp or stay on Facebook. They don't do any other strategies. And before you know it, in less than a year, they've maxed out their customers. There's no new person coming. Every other person they bought from you, they are tired. The highest thing they can ever do is maybe get you 1 or 2 extra people. So many of all these brands have zero marketing in their mind. They leave the marketing for the big boys. But they forget that brands like Coca-Cola till today, they still advertise. Google advertises on Facebook. Facebook advertises on other platforms too. So many of all people leave this out. I would say for small brands, thinking of having a marketing plan or a growth strategy, which most times are one, but the difference is that maybe your plan is to grow. It could be growth in number of followers, it could be growth in conversions of sales, it could just be okay, you want more awareness or more reach, depending on your goal. But basically for small brands, at the beginning of the year or even before the new year, you could consider how much you have for marketing, and then you could divide it into 4, you could divide it into 12. So you just don't go out once and then, let's say January now, you've done your marketing, you've pumped out all your money, and then you tend to realize that people's attention span is quite small. You tend to have competition, and you only stick when you keep on being at the back of people's minds. So if your budget is split into 4, you could easily run, even no matter how small it is, you could still win people's minds 4 times in a year than just once, and then by the next day, everybody has forgotten about what you're doing. If it's 12 times, then let's say you definitely want to reach out monthly. It could be, as a small brand, you don't necessarily have to use even big influencers. You have nano influencers that you could even easily leverage on. At least you definitely have to know somebody with, let's say, like 5,000 followers that still has good engagement and has the audience that you're looking for. So you don't necessarily have to break the bank on every strategy you're looking for. And if you have your conversions plugged in, well, you can always bring back those leads back to even WhatsApp, where you can retain them, you can let them know about discounts, you can let them refer friends, you can even create affiliate programs whereby if anybody brings maybe someone to buy from you, they could also benefit. So that way they grow, and all. And then another growth strategy that basically works generally for everyone is you're always trying to measure what works. So if you're running your own digital ads, if you have like 4-6 ads going on, it's better to even still check which of the ads are doing well, what people are giving feedback on, which of your products people really buy into, and then you also follow the trends. If you look at Elizade, recession came, Elizade switched from selling Toyota to another brand, because why? Brands that will have pumped maybe a certain amount of millions buy a brand new Toyota Corolla for their staff can't use that same amount of money now to buy that same type of car for their staff. And when you see other people bring in cheaper vehicles that can do these same things, you see them sell, and business is a game of numbers, basically. It's a game of numbers. So you have to follow the trends, see what is working, which of products is selling well, know, okay, this way I'm going to focus more of my adverts on, and don't think about any adverts being too small.
We've talked about the importance of legal structure in business, and based on the provisions of the law, there are minimum share capital required, which will determine the right business structure. For the benefit of some people here, and once someone is into security, if you're into security in Nigeria, you should know that the minimum share capital is 10 million. If you intend to invest in money lending, minimum share capital that your company should have is 20 million for money lenders. So if you're into logistics, don't register or incorporate your company under business name because of personal liability protection. In conclusion, I want you to understand the importance of intellectual property. I want you to know that your ideas are valuable, your initiatives, your creativity. If you're a fashion designer, you design clothes, you sew, you should know that your creation is valuable and worth protecting. However, before you can enjoy that exclusive protection, there is something that the law said you should do, which is where you have the trademark, the patent. I know that you heard the speakers talk about patent, industrial design, trade secrets. For trademark is that logo, that slogan that distinguishes your brand from other brands. When you talk about Coca-Cola, it rings a bell, because you can see the industrial design of Coca-Cola. You can see the brand name of Coca-Cola. No one can imitate that industrial design. No one can steal their trade secret, which is that taste that Coca-Cola gives you when you drink it. When you hear of McDonald's, you already know what the perception you have about the brand, because these companies have invested in intellectual property. If you know the value of intellectual property, you'll be able to position your brand for global relevance. In conclusion, I also want you to understand the importance of contracts in any transaction you embark on. Contract is simply a legally binding agreement between two people. But so many people have contracts that are not enforceable because there are three aspects of law that will make a contract enforceable, which you have your offer, your acceptance, your consideration. In your dealing with your employees, do you have a structure, a legal document such as the non-disclosure agreement that protects your trade secret? You know that so many of our employees have access to all our database, our customers, our unique commercial value that makes our business different from other businesses. They are exposed to all this important information. Do you have clauses in their employee contract which says that in the event that something happens, you're not going to steal my contacts and go and start exactly the business I'm doing? These are the things that distinguished and made so many old companies to still be standing, because there are so many cases which the law has decided where employees stole their trade secrets, employees stole their ideas and run off.
So, like, these are my final words. Basically, for everyone that owns a business, nobody would buy if they don't really know what you have to offer. So, your awareness stage has to be very key. That's in terms of people knowing about your business. At least that way they have an option to either buy from you or not to buy from you. But if they don't really know anything about what you are doing, then there's no point of considering even what you have to offer. And then we see many businesses, like I mentioned earlier, when they already create the awareness and people are already buying. Let's say they already have like 100 customers now. They become comfortable and then they stop the awareness, which is the main point of where they got the 100 from. They don't think of scaling up. They just get very comfortable. All they do now is depend on the 100 to keep on bringing them maybe one or two extra people in a geometric progression. But owning business never gets too comfortable with the leads you have. Always try and study which of your products are demanded the most, so you know where to focus your time on. And then don't stop engaging them. Some people send broadcast messages monthly. Some people maybe when they are festive seasons. Some people make use of their status. They make use of their status. They do discounts. They also put up. If they see a product that people have been demanding, they could do more offers or even put more publicity into that particular product compared to other products that they've had in their inventory that has not really been selling. So my final words: don't relent on your awareness. Don't relent on how you generate your leads and you engage your leads, because in the long run, you can't really have customer loyalty without you being in customers' faces, you being able to engage these customers. Mrs. Petra mentioned earlier on when she mentioned, we will call it brand sentiment analysis, especially when we offer like brand monitoring services. So basically, if you are not really engaging this set of people, if you are not showing loyalty, if you don't have very good customer service, if you are not still advertising, your business will get redundant. So keep the awareness phase up and keep the lead generation going. Thank you.